All right, we've got head coach Pat Noonan following tonight's 2-1 win over Austin. Coach, if you'll begin with an opening statement on the win.
Yeah, very pleased. It was a strong performance tonight, and in a lot of ways, certainly an improvement with how we moved the ball and had better decisions, more composure, and trying to figure out how to play through their press. It was a different structure than we were anticipating, so I thought the guys did a really good job of that. Scored some really good goals, and when we needed to, I thought we defended really well, especially in front of goal. They're very dangerous in how they get service into the box with obviously Brandon the main target, but multiple runners, and I thought our center backs specifically defended those moments really well. So very pleased with the performance and the result.
First of all, can we get an update on Matt Miaza? We were told in the press box it was hamstring tightness. Is there anything further? Is that anything to be concerned about?
Too early. Don't know. So it's a little bit precautionary, but the extent of what he's dealing with, we don't know yet.
This week you said that Dotto had kind of pushed the conversation about earning more minutes, and then he comes in and you also said that you still challenge him to finish off plays.
Yeah.
What did you think of his goal, and is he continuing to rise to that challenge?
He's putting together multiple performances now where he's been strong, and that's been, I think the challenge for him. Certainly you got to earn the minutes, and when you earn them, what do you do with them? And now you're starting to see him improving in his play, his consistency, his final product. It'd be nice if somebody could just put the ball, on a platter like that every time in front of goal, but sometimes it's not that easy. So a really well taken goal by him, and really pleased with how he was able to impact this game and continue a strong run of form.
Pat, it feels like so often this season we've come in here and spoken to you after a 1-goal win where it's you got the result but maybe the performance didn't match. And does it kind of feel like tonight might be the other side of that coin? You got the result and the performance matched what the result earned?
I think that's accurate. Guys played well, and credit to Austin. They were very good on the day as well. I thought caused us problems in certain moments where, like I alluded to, getting the ball wide, getting dangerous runs in the box when we didn't close that service. They were really dangerous. So that's not easy to defend, and I think our guys did a good job of that.
You went with a little bit of a different personnel group in your 11, not one that's totally unfamiliar to what you guys have done, but could you kind of walk us through, particularly with Luka and Yuya, what went into that decision and if it effectively went off the way you'd hope?
We tried to map out the week and understand the opponent, where we're playing, matchups, and we felt this was a strong 11 to go and win a game. And so we're at the stage now where there's good competition and there's going to be tough decisions. And so, a couple guys that have been on the field for a lot of wins that, we're going to be in a reserve role and handled it really well. And we're ready to come on if need be. And so we know we're going to need to utilize our depth in this week. And that was the starting point, to try to have a good 11 on the field to go and win this game with this matchup. And we'll see how guys recover. And we know we're going to need some fresh bodies going into Toronto.
Pat, it seemed there was maybe in the second half a heavy emphasis on switching the field, especially from Luka to Lucas. It seemed to set up the second goal as well. Was there sort of an adjustment in the first half, or was this sort of an opportunity presenting itself on the fly in the second half?
No, it's just recognizing how to play through pressure and having more patience than we had previously, and not trying to play up one channel, when that wasn't the best option. So I think we did a better job of understanding how to move them left to right, to find ways to play through the middle, to switch play like you mentioned. Like when we were talking about what their shape was going to look like, there was going to be different ways where we thought we could play through the middle. But how do you recognize it? How do you have the composure to play under pressure? How does the movement look like from our midfield three? And, you know, if Evander's on the ball side, what does it look like for Yuya and Pavel to find deeper positions? So I thought their movements and how they rotated with the play was good and allowed us to have different ways to advance the ball up the field. So, you know, Yuya and Pavel, I thought, were excellent in just how they played behind their initial pressure.
Coach, sorry, was there any consideration going back to the lineup of playing a different formation, or especially with the health concerns on the center back line, of just maybe going back to a back four instead of sticking with the three center backs?
We had 5 healthy center backs. I know Matt had to come off the field and Teenage had a little bit of a knock there, but we look at, you know, the form of our group, who we're matched up against, but we also know the shape that we started with today has brought us a lot of success. So with 5 healthy center backs, this is what we chose to start the game and the group that we chose. So no, we're healthy at the center back position and have options to play in multiple formations, but the guys did a good job with, you know, how we prepared this week and what we saw today.
Good, Luis.
Hey, Coach. The decision of bringing a Teenage instead of Flores was because of his height, knowing that Brandon Vasquez's aerial game, or it was just pure tactical?
No, tactical. Having a left-footed player on the left side with some of the on-the-ball decision-making. Just the form, I think, you know, both players. There was a couple, you know, things in the last game where it felt like Teenage was the right decision tonight, but Alberto is going to get his option pretty soon here. So that was just the decision in the moment.
Good, Laurel, go ahead.
Kind of unfortunate for Teenage on the handball. Did you get any feedback on? It looked like it was really close to the edge of the box. Did you get any feedback on?
I did. It looked like a handball. You know, my concern in that moment is how are we not shifting over quicker? I think the recognition of Lucas releasing to the ball and with our structure, we should be able to close that space. And if we do it at a better speed, I think we defend that outside the box, which is the goal. And, you know, it's unfortunate for him and how it's crossed into the box, but that's why you got to have your hands in a natural position. And for me, it was less about the handball and more about our shift. It needs to be quicker.
And back to Carter.
Pat, Evander played the either scorer or got the assist in both of your goals tonight. He's been such a central part of what you guys do this season. What was it that he did today that put himself into a position to impact the game like he did?
Yeah, he's a special player. The goal is him, you know, having a good central position. Lucas's pass is outstanding, and you know, being able to control the ball and you know, find the back post. But the second goal, his assist, is just something that few can do, and that's why he's at a higher level than most, and one of the reasons we went and got him. But I think he just got into better positions, made simple decisions. You know, there was a lot of players, including himself, over the last couple of games that forced the issue on too many plays, and when he makes the right pass in the right moment, it typically allows him to be in a better position where when we need to make a play, we can find him in the right spots to be able to do that. And so I think you saw more of that tonight.
And go to Poa.
Coach, happy for the 2-1.
Thank you.
¿Qué análisis tiene del partido sabiendo que por momentos pasó a apuro el equipo? ¿Qué porcentaje de su convencimiento puede decirnos?
Coach, what's your analysis of the game given the changes you had to make early in the game and the performance overall?
Yeah, you never want to have to make adjustments because of injury. It's tough to use a moment in the first half, but, you know, Matt felt what he felt, and we couldn't take a risk over the next 3-4 minutes to try to see out the half. So, you know, for a player coming in, it's just trying to simplify things, especially with the ball. And then, on the defensive side of the ball, you hope they're paying attention before they get into the game to understand what their responsibilities defensively look like and some of the challenges they'll face. But, it's part of the game, and I think we were ready to make a quick decision. But, then in those moments, it's how do you manage knowing a player has to come off and, Matt understanding how and when to go to the ground and how to communicate that, and us understanding that there's a player that's struggling. How do you get the ball out of bounds so you can address it? So those things aren't always easy, but it's our job to try to help communicate the moment to the rest of the guys so that, we don't get punished. But Teenage came in and did a good job, and I think the rest of the subs obviously came in and helped impact the game.